Oh, I think you're good. I think they've heard worse.
Look at all these beautiful people.
We can see a couple beautiful people. The other beautiful people should put on their cameras so we can.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Do this the right way. And I'll do introductions in a moment. Make sure I keep my eye on the waiting room so I get everybody in here.
Yeah. So I think Teresa and Victoria are the only ones that are on camera.
Yeah.
Unless Taylor's family is being super still. And, oh, there's somebody in bed. There's someone still in bed. Man, this sucks. I want to go back to bed and just lay there and do this whole thing. Let's do that. Bring the camera in my bedroom.
Oh, now that would get you in trouble. Oh my God, man.
What's up, Ethan? I like your backdrop.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's pimp. We got Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Oh my God, this is so cool. Is anybody else going to turn? We got Stephanie Gerald, who is standing very still. I don't know how she's standing so still, but all right, cool. This is awesome. Everybody else should turn on your cameras. And I mean, even if you're in bed, I mean, look at, what is your name up there? The one that's in bed.
Courtney.
Okay, Courtney. Even if you're like Courtney and you haven't gotten out of bed yet, there's Liam. What's up, Liam? Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Oh, Taylor.
Look at all these people. Oh my gosh, thank y'all so much for being here.
This is good stuff. Thank you guys.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I was just telling Justin a second ago, we've got the regular class, which if anybody doesn't show up, you guys will have to tell them, you really screwed up this time. And then I have a couple of special guests, a couple of ex-students who I thought would really appreciate this. I've got a couple of people who have spoken to class similar to what Justin's doing. So that's Teresa, who's one of ours. She spoke earlier this year. We had a panel group, Justin, about depression and people that were affected by suicide. And Teresa was one of our people who was really kind to come in and speak about that, which was amazing. It was a tough class, but it was really nice to hear the stories.
It's always a tough topic of conversation, but you know that's why we do these things, to get past the hard part. You know.
Absolutely. And then I know and another person, I don't want to call you out here, but I kind of want to bring up the fact that Victoria up in the top is an ex student of mine who is actually a music therapist. So I figure that is like right up your alley, considering.
Oh gosh, that's great. I'm gonna come to your office later today, 3 o'clock.
I actually work in mental health care.
You do?
Oh,
that's
amazing.
Amazing.
I'm actually at work right now. I do music therapy for mental health, acute mental health inpatient care.
Way to go, Victoria.
Nice.
You're changing lives every day. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That is so cool.
All right. So introduction-wise, I think for you all students, you shouldn't need an introduction, considering if you did your homework like you're supposed to, or if you actually got on the Zoom call with me, you saw the documentary about our friend Justin Furstenfeld here, lead singer of Blue October. Because I am tenacious, a little bit stalky, and clever, actually somehow convinced this dude to come in and talk to us. So I'm really excited.
No, my wife convinced me to do it. I do what my wife tells me to do. And you convinced my wife, and that's just awesome to me. I think that's awesome. So
yes, and Liam was actually part of the last class where we all recorded a video asking you to come. I don't think it ever got out there, but yeah.
Oh no.
So anyway,
I can't hear you anymore, Jeff.
Oh no. Am I back? Am I good? Am I back?
Okay, now I can.
Okay. Oh, come on, Verizon. I don't need you guys to cut out on me now. Okay. So anyway, so for students, you guys all watched the video. And Justin has come on to talk, even though his schedule right now is ridiculous. He has an album that just came out last week, which is amazing. So if you haven't turned on your camera, I'd really love for you to. I'd also like for everybody to come up with at least a question or 2 or 10 while we are on this. It's kind of an opportunity you don't get every day, so I would love for everybody to have a chance to be able to throw their questions out. I will turn on the chat, so if you want to ask a question but feel uncomfortable, I am perfectly comfortable, and you can just send it to me and I will mention it. And then I've also got some questions out there as well. So I will do that. So Justin, do you have a time limit frame that you, so I want to make sure we're respectful to you and we.
I've got like an hour.
Okay.
On here. And then if depends on what Eric's doing in there. If he comes in an hour and says, hey, we're ready for you, because I got to do some on camera interviews. But if they're running late, I can stay till they come, till they show up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I know we have an hour. We have till like 12:15, you know.
Perfect.
And that's when they're supposed to be here ready to go.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, so I've got regular questions. We'll talk a little bit about your experience, about what's happened since. And at the very end, if we have some time, I have a couple of fun questions as well. So
I like fun questions.
Good, just fun questions.
I like fun things.
Yeah.
I swear.
We're all about fun. So so anyway, so I will not throw you to the wolves in terms of just talking. However, in light of kind of your story, if you could give the 10,000-foot view of kind of then to now, just to catch anybody up who hasn't done their homework of who you are, how you came to this place, and where you are right in the moment. And then I'll kind of get into some other stuff as we go.
If anybody has a question while I talk, just if I say something and it triggers something in you that you'd like to know about, just kind of raise your hand and I'll stop what I'm saying, because I do what's called the 12 steps of AA, which is Alcoholics Anonymous. It changed my life. It saved my life. I have always been a writer. I've always been an artist. I've always been a musician, an actor, and so I've always worn my heart and my emotions on my sleeve. And growing up, I always saw people that I admired, and some of them took drugs to experiment, and some of them, they were a little bit crazy. Pink Floyd's and things like that, and Blind Melon and Kurt Cobain, Andy Warhol, Jean-Michel Basquiat, Amy Winehouse, all these people that now are gone because they didn't know their limits and drugs took over their life. So I experimented in high school and started a band, and what I realized is that my whole career took on this form of this person who was masking his depression, because at 14 I was put on Paxil, right? Just because I was depressed, and my parents were worried about me, and I was writing songs about suicide, and I was writing songs. I was a cutter. I always cut on myself when I was like 13, 14, 15. I was always cutting on myself, and my explanation to that was that I was in so much mental pain that the cutting took it to the most extreme. So then after the cut, I could feel relief, which is crazy to think about now. But as life got more complicated, as life got bigger, as I became an adult, I didn't stop using the drugs. I didn't stop drinking. I just began to use it as a party tool, and it fed my ego. It fed my depression. It masked the depression. And I'll get into that later. It's very important that aspect of self-medicating when you do have depression is probably the worst thing you could ever do for depression, because it takes having a clean head to even understand how to medicate depression or to get better. So in short, 20 years of drug use, alcoholism, and depression, selling millions of records, becoming very popular, going through a divorce. What I'm trying to say is I was so used to partying and so used to doing drugs, it became a way of life, that when something bad happened in my life, like a divorce or like a heartbreak, or at that time it was the loss of being able to see my firstborn because of the divorce, it turned from partying into numbing, and drugs were no longer a fun experimental thing that I did while I was trying to make music. It became a way to cover up pain and to deal with the pain. And I'd never felt such pain not being able to see my firstborn. And when you all have kids, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a whole nother level of love that you feel. So what happened was I began to downward spiral into drug addiction, and I couldn't go a day without it. I couldn't fly to Japan and play Japan without smuggling it on the airplane. I couldn't go in a bus without having it everywhere. I mean, it was dangerous stuff. It was ruining my life to the point of where I became addicted to Xanax, addicted to oxys, addicted to crystal meth. Was the one thing that was just horrible, because everybody knows that as like the white trash drug, right? And I was just kind of like, I guess I'm white trash. And I didn't really care because it made me feel numb. It gave me the fake confidence that I needed at that time. And it took a lot of people and a lot of, I burned a lot of bridges in the music business because of the way I was acting. My health went deteriorated. I became enormously overweight, and became a big victim of self-pity, and all of my songs were about how bad life was, and it was past the depression. It was now on to just how bad life was and how dark it was. And it got to the point where I couldn't even speak anymore. I couldn't drive a car. I couldn't speak. I couldn't form sentences because I had damaged my brain so much by abusing drugs and alcohol that I couldn't speak. I couldn't go to the store to shop for myself. It was horrible. I wasn't allowed to see my kid anymore, the one that I was fighting for in the first place. So it just literally took hold of me, and I couldn't stop. And it's the one disease in the world that tells you you're not the problem, everyone else is. It's a devil. It tricks you into thinking that you're fine as long as you have the drugs, and everybody else is the one that's trying to get you. So it was so bad that everybody in the band came up to me and told me that they were no longer going to be in the band. My fiance at the time told me she would leave me. Typical story, but they meant it. And then I went to rehab and stayed there for 3 months. Lived in a halfway house, and when I got out, I was a whole new person. Uh, and I'd done so much damage to my brain that it took about 2 years to be able to fully talk right, um, form sentences correct, uh, remember lyrics, um, do interviews correctly. My wife now, she tells me when I got out of rehab that the only thing I could do was talk about stupid kid jokes. I would make fart jokes and stupid jokes that you would make when you're like 13 or 14. But then I started thinking about it, and that's who I was when I started using drugs, was 14. So it basically stopped all of my growth up here, and I became so slow for the 2 years afterwards from doing so much methamphetamine and so much benzos and alcoholism that I had literally damaged my brain, and I couldn't form sentences. And it was very scary. I thought it was going to be like that forever. Because I'm a person that sings songs, and I had to start my whole career back over by starting a tour called the Open Book Tour, where my wife helped me put together these songs that I remembered, and I had to go back and slowly remember them. And then first tour I did sober, I went out and sat with an acoustic guitar on the stage and told people, I'm a recovering addict. I'm trying to remember what I do and how to do this. Please bear with me. And I would play for an hour and a half. And sometimes it would fail, sometimes it wouldn't. But these supporters of mine were so sweet that they sat through these shows and watched me reform my brain, my serotonin levels, my confidence. And it was like breaking legs, and then happened to relearn how to walk again. And now I'm 8.5 years sober, clean and sober. I don't smoke pot. I don't take any kind of drugs. I don't drink at all. And I can honestly say that it's the best I've ever felt. And it's the first time in my life that I love who I am. I'm no longer this victim of self-pity. I'm no longer this guy who just hates the world and everybody's out to get him. And I now have all of my children. They all live with me. And it's quite beautiful, the turn life has taken. If I just don't drink or do drugs, that's it. And I don't lie. Wait. Don't drink, don't do drugs, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal. And it's as simple as that. And I would have to say that I'm so grateful, because I was at a point in my life where if I didn't have people that loved me or believed in me before, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be here. I'd be in jail or an institution or dead. And I will have to say that 3 times in my active addiction life, I was put in a mental hospital. And I'm sitting here saying, it's because I'm crazy. It's because I'm crazy. I have such bad depression. No, you're on freaking drugs and you have depression. You're an idiot. Like, wake up. So I'm sober now because of what other people showed me could be done. I didn't believe it. But now I do the steps of AA, 12 steps. And the first step is admitting that I had a problem, and that was the hardest part. But now, I mean, now I love myself. I'm a badass. And I think I'm great. I'm not conceited. I just, for the first time in 44 years, I actually love myself and who I am. And that is a direct result of following the 12 steps, staying in recovery, staying close to the light, of positivity. I don't allow any negative people in my life. That's a huge one. Like, I don't allow drama suckers, people that come into your life and they're all about drama. The people that just constantly read Facebook and the negativity and the comments, and they're worried about what other people think. I don't care what other people think anymore. I just do what feels right. I surround myself with positive, loving people. And then I work hard at my sobriety, being a parent, being a husband, and being an artist. Today I have what's called a craft, and that's songwriting. I can walk in here at 10 a.m. and I can write an amazing song by 5 p.m. and it can be done. I couldn't do that when I was high. And the songs can be about love. They can be about beautiful things. They don't have to be about pain. They can be about pain, but they don't have to. And then I can go to bed at the end of the day knowing that I tried hard, that I feel good. I love who I am in my own skin, and that I didn't use that day. But it was crazy, man. It was crazy. It was very crazy. So I'm grateful for my sobriety. And yeah, life wouldn't be what it is without my sobriety first. And then comes the rules, the moral compass of it, But I will have to say, before we move on, I wasn't able to tackle my depression. Get this, 14 years old, I was put on Paxil. And until I was 36 years old, I never truly gave the Paxil a chance, or myself a chance, because I was always on drugs or alcohol. So when I got 36 years old, man, that's when I finally was able to go, oh, my head is clean enough to see what the Paxil does, to see what exercising does, to see what eating clean does, to see what not letting negative people in my life does. And for the last 8 years, I've been able to make friends with my depression. It's a part of me. It's always going to be there. but I don't let it rule my life. And that's a direct result of taking my medication on time, being active, not letting negative, I will say that so many times today, not letting negative people run my life. They can come into my life, they can state their claim, but then I can ask them to leave, pray for them, and move on. I have what's called boundaries today, which is amazing. I don't have to let anybody in my life that I don't want. And I don't have to prove anything to anyone. And there's something so freeing and beautiful about that. Now, Jeff, I'm sorry.
No. I love that. And oh God, it's like you said so many things that hit on all these, like, it's like, oh my God, I want to ask more about that. I want to ask more about that. So I had to figure out like what I want to ask first. But you know, for those of you guys that are hearing the story, well, you're all hearing the story. But it's really cool to see kind of the progression of music, the progression of what you see. Watching the video that you did where you sang with Blue was so cool, because you know that 10 years ago it was a very, very different story. So that seeing stuff like that, hearing lyrics that are more upbeat, it sort of tells the story without telling the story, and it's really, really cool. And so one of the things that I knew I wanted to ask about, because this was, so I've worked in the field for, I'm actually doing something different now, but I was a therapist for 10 years, and the majority of the time I was working in drug and alcohol. Now, I never had a drug and alcohol problem myself, but I was working in the field, and a lot of people got into it for that reason, because they had recovered. And I always found myself having a hard time thinking, like, how do I connect? How do I understand? And the first time I ever heard something about 12 steps is something that you had said, and it blew my mind, which was 12 steps are really for anybody that has a control issue with anything. And it could be depression, it could be anger, it could be food, it could be weight, it could be, and I never thought of it like that. And it just really, it helped me understand other experiences better, because I could kind of, I think everybody's got something that they feel like they don't have control over. And I think for, you know, as we're talking to a group of students that may or may not have seen this side of the world and seen substance abuse, or maybe seen somebody, a family member or a friend with it, but haven't experienced it themselves, and you're trying to figure out, how do I put myself in their world? How do I understand them? How do I know where to go if I want to help? And that was such a really neat way of thinking about it. So if you could talk a little bit more about how the 12 steps can also apply to anybody, really, and how that kind of branches out into you being able to be a support for somebody else. Because I think in a lot of cases, we are going to be called upon to be a support, to be one of those loving people. How do we do it? You know, how do we do it the right way?
Check this out. And for anybody who wants to write this down, this is the simple version of it. For anyone that wants to help somebody with an alcohol or addiction problem, the best thing you can do is show them the map to recovery and then leave them the hell alone. You can't push them. You can't tell them, first of all, that they have to do something. You can't lead a horse to water and then make him drink it. You can't make anyone do this. If you've got a brother or a sister or a mom, and you're like, please stop using, it's not gonna work. What it is there's a solution. The solution is you don't have to drink anymore. You don't have to use anymore. But I'm going to tell you all right now that it is not your responsibility to get anyone sober. It is never any one of your responsibilities to get anyone sober. If you want to help, you show them the guide. And then you say, I will not have a part of this until you get sober. And then you leave them alone and go live your happy life. Because that's the point of life, to be happy, joyous, and free. And if they want to destroy themselves, you're never going to change it. I'll start by saying that. You're never, ever going to change it. You're not going to be the one that saves the day and swoops in and carries them through the threshold like the movies, and they're sober and you love and you kiss and it's all gone. It's not going to happen that way. They're going to lie to you and they're going to go to the bathroom and continue to do what the hell they want to do. But what I can tell you is the best way to get someone sober is to say, there is a program of recovery. I'm going to show you how to get there, how to come to a meeting. I'm going to show you the way, and then I'm going to leave you alone. And you're not going to be able to come to my door anymore and knock and ask for help. You're not going to be able to come to my door and ask, I need a place to stay. Sorry. Have fun being homeless. You're not going to be able to come to my door and say, I need food. Sorry, get a job. I'm not going to be able to come to my door anymore and say, my kid, they won't let me see my kid. It's because you're high. Leave me alone. The best way you can treat anyone is to let them know it is their responsibility and that you won't invest any more time or energy into that. And until you know that, and until you believe that, you can't move on to the next step. That's for you. That's for the people that are trying to help and save the world with this. You can only lead them to this program of recovery, and then you have to back up. I'll say that, and now I'll move on to the next part. This is for the person who wants recovery. There's a thing called the 12 steps, and everybody does it different. But Jeff Dunn asked me to come and talk about the 12 steps, so I'm going to talk about the 12 steps. This is it in a nutshell. Recovery is really based on finding the person that got hurt and healing them so they can see they're worth recovering. You get that? That is what recovery is about. Tapping into the person that got hurt so that they can have a map on how to fix themselves and heal so they don't need the drugs anymore to cover it up. You feel me? That's the first thing. So this is what I'm going to walk you through it really simple. You're going to find that these steps are not a step of you got to do this, you got to do that, you do this, and I'm going to sell you sobriety. Holy crap. It's not like that. This is a direct, I call it an onion peeler. You ever heard of that where someone says, don't you want to get to know yourself? You know, you peel back the onions. This is what the 12 steps are. Okay, check it out. Step 1, and you can write all these down if you want. It's a simple thing. Step 1, you admit that you have a problem and that your life is unmanageable, right? If I'm driving around a car with my child in the back while high on cocaine or drunk, that is a problem. Your life is unmanageable because now you can't even drive anywhere without your kid in the car. You get it? That's what I'm saying. If you can't go to a party without getting loaded first, if you can't go to work without getting loaded first, this is the problem. Step 1, you admit that there's a problem. I'm driving around with my kid in the car, high. I'm driving around. I can't go a week without buying another bag of weed. I can't be in a good, you get what I'm saying. Your life is unmanageable. That's step 1, admitting those things. And what I tell people to do is write down 3 things in your life that have become unmanageable. Write those 3 things down. What are those 3 things? My 3 things were this. I could not go out in public without being high. I lost my social ability to function, right? That's pretty crazy because I'm a public figure. So, wow, that's unmanageable. I couldn't get on a plane to go see my kid without getting high. That's unmanageable. I can't even be a parent anymore, right? And then 3, I'm making other people at risk by putting this stuff around them who aren't drug addicts. You feel me? So that's unmanageability. And that means I am powerless over the fact that I can't stop doing drugs. I can't stop drinking. That's step 1. Step 2 is that I have to have something bigger than myself. This is where it gets weird, people. This is where half of you people will be like, oh, I don't like this. But this is for real, man. Desperate people use drugs. Desperate people drink. Desperate people. Okay? Step 2 is finding something bigger than yourself to change this freaking behavior, because this behavior is out of hand, it's out of line, and it's making you do stupid shit. Feel me? So that's step 2. You have to find something bigger than yourself, because I swear to God, there was 30,000 times I said, Justin can handle it. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to stop tomorrow, but I couldn't. So I have to find something bigger than myself. And that means finding a higher power. This is where it gets weird, folks. This is where I started getting turned off by it. I said, what, you think I got to be religious now? No, you don't have to be religious. You have to find a higher power. Do you remember when you were a kid and you first smelled rain? Do you remember when you were a kid and you first touched the ocean? Do you remember when you were a kid and your mom held you because you scratched your knee? You know, do you remember when you first held somebody's hand? That purity? Do you remember when you first had a crush? That purity? Remember when you believed in Santa Claus and Christmas came around and you felt that rush of just, life is so good. That's how I first started my higher power venture. Something bigger than myself. Something bigger than all of us made the seasons change. They made the rain fall. They made snow come down. Something that's pure, something that's beautiful, someone you love that's in your life that you're so grateful for. You find a higher power. Today, mine is God, but it took me about a year to find that. I'm not going to preach religion to you. You just have to find something bigger than yourself. When your nephew was born, that doesn't happen by accident, you know? Everybody in your head right now, think of one thing that is so pure in your life that was not man-made, that couldn't have happened without something bigger. You feel me? Even if it's a damn butterfly that flew by you when you needed it, that's purity. That is something bigger than yourself. So you need to tap into step 2, finding a higher power, because you can't change these things on your own. Step 3 is believing in that higher power. That's the hard part. That's the crazy part. Because now you're asking me to believe in the damn butterfly? Hell yeah, I'm asking you to believe in the damn butterfly. What else are you going to do? Keep driving your car into a damn wall? What else are you going to do at that time? Believe in something bigger than yourself, but really believe. And if you guys ever just sat there in your car, maybe you took a test and you said, oh God, please let me pass. Or, oh God, please let him call me after that date last night. Or please God, come on, let this COVID shit go away. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You're already praying to some shit you don't know about. Why not take it to the next level and believe in something bigger and greater? So what I'm asking you to do is take those 3 things from step 1 that makes your life unmanageable. You know, the 3 things that drugs and alcohol are doing in your life. And I'm asking you every night to just sit for 5 minutes quiet and say to yourself, and for the alcoholic and addict, this will be something that they will do because they're desperate and they desperately want to change. So they will tackle this. They will do it. If you make them know that you are no longer going to be their babysitter and enabler, they will sit for 5 minutes quiet and say, whatever's up there, please take away this pain that I feel. Please take away this unmanageability. Please take away the fact that I keep driving around with my kid in the car. That's so fucked up. Please take away the fact that I can't go anywhere on a plane without this stuff. Please take away my need for this stuff. And you start to do it every day, right? And these steps don't just happen overnight. This is my way of recovery. This is what worked for me. Step 3 took me 3 months. Step 2 took me 3 months. So you're truly going to do this. You're going to truly practice this every night. You sit there and you pray to something up above that's better than you, that's bigger than you, that is there to heal you. If it's religion, embrace it. If it's God, then embrace it. If it's Buddha, embrace it. If it's Anything that you believe in, embrace it. This is the hugest part of this. That's why I keep repeating it over and over again. Step 1, your life is unmanageable and you're powerless over this drug and alcohol. Step 2, well, step 1, you write down 3 things on how. Step 2, you find that personal purity, something bigger than yourself, and you go, maybe I'll ask that for help. Step 3, you actually ask it for help. You actually sit in quiet silence and ask it for help. But you believe it when you do it. You don't just do it because someone like Jeff told you had to do it. You do it because you want change in your life. Step 4, this is where it gets really interesting. After you have that higher power in your life, and you're truly believing in it, Ethan, you're truly believing that something's up there, right? Maggie, this is where you start going, now the work starts. I believe something's up there because I felt the first time I jumped into an ocean, I felt like something was bigger than myself. So I'm going to pray to that ocean, right? I want to change. I want to change in my life. And every night you're praying up there, please take away these 3 things. Step 4, this is where you make a list. This is where it gets truly hard, but this is where it separates the people that are just acting like they want help from the people that do want help. You make a list, make a column of negative and positive things. This is serious, you guys. This is serious. You make a list of 10 things that you did that you are just ashamed of in your life that was a direct result of these drugs and alcohol. 10 things, and you get brutal with it. You make a list of things you've done to people, who you've lied to, who you've hurt, who you've verbally abused, who you've taken apart, who you've treated like absolute shit because you wanted drugs instead of being an honest person. You know, there were so many on my list. I had to do this step for so long. There were so many on my list. There were things in my life while I was high and while I was using that happened with my fiance and I maintained my status as a junkie. You make this list, you write it down, and you be really honest with yourself about those things that you've done to people. Almost it hurts to make the list because you have to be true to yourself and you have to look at that ugly part of yourself. Hi, Abigail. And this is where it gets hard. You find someone you trust, usually a sponsor in AA. Don't go to your lover. Don't go to your mom. Don't go to get a therapist if you don't have a sponsor. And you go, I've been told that I'm on step 4 and I need to tell you my list. You feel me? And all this shit you just wrote down for step 4 that you've done, you tell this person. And when you tell this person, you don't ask for oh, it's okay. Let me give you a hug. It's going to get better. Poor thing. You don't do that. You're not playing victim anymore. You're trying to be a better person. You tell the list, you move on. You move on. And a lot of guilt and shame is in that list. But I learned from a 98-year-old man in my first AA meeting that guilt and shame is just another form of being selfish. You're thinking about yourself. Boom, blew my mind. Wow. So now your step 5 is that you just told someone all your dirty secrets about what you did when you were on drugs and alcohol. Oh my God, how crazy is this? It's not. Because you'll find that everybody else who drinks and does drugs did a lot of more crazy shit than you did. But now you at least got it all out and you put it out. Do you feel me? Everybody feel me so far? I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. But for people that are on drugs and alcohol, this is the map to where they need to go. So this is what you will be leading people to and then telling them goodbye until you follow the map. So your map has to be colorful. It has to have pretty trees. It has to have sunsets. It has to have everything they need to get sober. And this is the one. Facts, facts, facts. Step 5 is they're going to tell all this shit to this person. And the person is going to go, okay, now you're ready for step 6. Do you know what step 6 is? Going back to step 4, write this down. Going back to step 4 and finding out what character defects made all that shit happen. Why did you lie? Well, because I'm dishonest. Why did you cheat? Because something sexual in my life happened that was messed up. Why do you always have to use your ego to get things? Why do you think you're better than everybody? Because I have control issues. Right there. You see, you're starting to list the things that are wrong in your personality that you want to correct from the mistake list that you made on step 4. You feel me, Ethan? You feel me, Maggie? Noelle, you there? Feel me? You are writing this out for yourself so you can, if you just tell people what you did and you went, oh, that was a crazy night. I can't believe that. I can't believe I made out with a goat. Wow, I must have been high. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with that? Why would you do that? Well, what's your personality trait? What made you do that? These are the things you're covering up. Why did I lie so much? Why did I put people at risk? So step 6 is you're making a list of character defects. What are character defects? Character traits are what we have in us that make our personality, right? Whether you're caring, whether you're compassionate, whether you're passionate about what you do for a living, what people see as whether you're trustworthy, things like that. Character defects are you're a liar, you're dishonest, you're selfish, you're full of self-pity, you have controlling ego problems. This is where the alcoholic and the addict goes, oh, now I can see. I can see where it's going wrong. And after you write that list down, let's see, I write down, mine was self-pity, control, ego. Man, I had the ego. I thought the world revolved around my ass, right? Let's see what else. Liar. Like, you make your list. There's my list. Just made it. Okay. And that comes from, it says, no, my handwriting is just atrocious, Alice Rose Dempsey. But you make the list and then you go, what? You call on that second and third step again. Remember that higher power that you found, that purity? And now when you go to bed at night, you write a prayer to that higher power. You feel me? Mine is, dear God, please relieve this self-pity. I'm so sick of whining about my problems all the time. Help me be stronger. Dear God, please relieve this control issue that I have. Let me listen better so that I won't try to control every situation around me. Dear God, this ego, bring me down to the right size. I call humble and humility the right size. So whenever you hear me say something like, you need to get to the right size, girl, or whenever I say you need to shrink to the right size, that means your ego is messing you up. You feel me? So please, God, let me shrink my ass to the right size. Boom. Right? God, please relieve myself of being a liar. I don't know why I'm so dishonest. What am I trying to cover up? So that's step 7. You actually write a prayer. You write it down. You memorize it. So then as the more you keep doing these steps, you find all these character defects and you just put them in there. So you're gradually every day working on these character defects to make yourself a better person. Step 8. Here we go, Ethan. This is where it gets really ugly. Then you go back through all that list you made and the stuff you said on 5 and you find all the people that were in those lists. Remember all the people that you hurt and all you lied to? And you write all their names down. You write all of their names down. All of them. Step 9. You go make amends to all those people. This is where it gets ugly. Because some of the people I went to make an amends to said, you know what? Screw you. Get out of my life. But remember what I said at the beginning of the thing? I don't let negative people in my life anymore. That's what these people think sometimes. Because they figured the key out. They don't want any negative bitches in their life. So when I go to ask them for forgiveness, what do you think they're going to say? I don't know. I don't allow negative people in my life. Okay, I just needed to apologize, make an amends, and ask, what do I do to make this better? That's step 9. Some people will be like, I've been waiting for you. Come here. I love you. Those are amazing people. Those are amazing, truly amazing people. Step 9 will be the part where, remember when I told you before, the addicts, you will shut the door on them. You will tell them to leave you alone. You will let them out of your life. Remember that part? Remember that part, Lindsay? You will let them out of your life. Step 9 is where you let them back in. You feel me? That's when you open the door and say, come on in. And they say, I really lied to you. I hurt you. I hurt our family. Step 9 is about making amends. It's not about getting forgiveness. It's not about making yourself feel better. It's not about, oh, look at super sober. He's so sober. Let's throw him a party. No, it's about making it right. That's step 9. Step 10 is finding peace. After you do that step 9, they're going to find a sense of peace that's just crazy, man. They're going to go, oh, this is what life is about. Step 11 is doing these steps over and over and over and over again for the rest of your life because it becomes a way of life. And your character defects will shrink. Your list will become smaller. Your amends list will become smaller. The people you made amends to will now become your friends, and they will respect you again for the hard work that you've put into it. You will find out what gratitude is in step 11. You will find out what peace, gratitude, confidence, love, and what amazing higher power can do for you. I love step 11. I love step 10, 11, and then step 12, get this, you carry the message. So if someone like Jeff Dunn reaches out to my wife and says, I need your husband to talk about the 12 steps, it is my duty to stop what I'm doing and make time to do it. Because one of you guys out there, this is happening in your life, or it will happen in your life, or you'll date someone with a drug problem, or you'll marry someone with a drug problem, or you'll end up having a kid with a drug problem. It is not your responsibility to cure them. It's your responsibility to show them a map to recovery. And this map is very simple. If you just don't freaking overcomplicate it. You feel me? We are put on this earth to be happy, joyous, and free. Us as humans find drama so much more enticing. And I don't get that. All I want is peace, love, harmony. And the way I get that is not drinking. And I do the steps all the time. Before I talk to someone, I think about it. Is this coming from my ego? Is this coming from control? Is it the truth? Did I cheat on my wife today? No. Did I love my kids today? Yeah, Alice, I saw your eyes. Did I love my kids today? Yes. This is real shit. And it's an everyday process for an addict and alcoholic like myself. I'm sorry if I seem a little woo, but that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I'm 8.5 years sober. And I haven't lied in 8.5 years. I haven't cheated in 8.5 years. I haven't put my kids at risk. I haven't put anyone at risk. I've only tried to help. And people like me now. That's crazy. And guess what? It's even better. I like myself for the first time in my life. I freaking love myself. So just remember that. And scene.
Love that.
Your fingers. Alice Rose's face, the whole she was like, I love you, Alice. Love you.
Fantastic.
Sorry, that's if you're gonna ask me to do the 12 steps, I have to do
that was
that version.
It's great because I think it's something that we hear about. You hear about it as like it's something that's out there. I don't think people necessarily realize what it's about, or it's something that's for somebody else. It's when you put it that way, you realize that it's not incredibly complicated. It's something that can be simple. It can be for you if you are an addict. It could be for you if you are struggling with something else. I like the fact that you were able to explain that so well, because I think it's a mystery to some people. And then I think there's a lot of people.
It's just a direct result of finding a better moral compass. That's it. And anybody that wants to be a better person and treat people better, or learn why they're depressed, or learn why they have issues on certain things, it's a really good tool to always learn more about yourself in a good way. You know what I'm saying, Jeff?
Yeah. So how are you these days? You ever have any first song in your new album, now,
Awesome.
there's some words there. There's some
Freaking
lyrics that
awesome.
made me a little worried about you.
Yeah, but that's the beauty about art. That's what's great about therapy. You talk about it. Today I can talk about it. I can get it out. I can go see someone. I can put it all down. Sobriety's not going to always be hunky dory, but guess what? It gives me a chance to tackle the depression, or the way, oh, poor life just hit Justin in the face. These days I'm not going and doing meth over it. These days I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to come back. I'm going to write a song where I explain that my hope is being tried. And then I'm going to move on to the next song and move on to the next song. Today I can talk about it. Today I can use a friend, you know? It's really amazing.
That's great. That is great. Fantastic. I'm looking to see if I'm waiting for some questions from some people.
I have a question.
There
Uh-oh.
we go.
Alice.
Yeah.
So, like you mentioned that you turned to a higher power during your recovery. And so, like, lots of people turn to religion during theirs. Do you still, like, regularly practice religion, like, all the time? Not all the time.
I'm not a person. I'm not necessarily, I'm a Christian, right? But that's just because my mom raised me that way, and the moral values and the moral compass of it is really special. I don't go to church. I don't go to church. I spend Sundays off with my children, and I use that. I pray every morning and I pray every night, but it's not like I kneel and go, "Oh God, the heavens of high, please come down and bless my soul." I don't do that. I just say at night, "God, thank you for another day. Thank you for showing me the miracles everywhere." And I stop during the day and I notice things like cardinals flying around me. I stop every day and I notice, oh man, there's a storm coming. I smell it. I stay close to the light, Alice, is what I'm saying. I stay close to the light. I stay close to my spirituality. But I know that my God, is my God. And without the faith and the healing that I feel from that God, none of this would have happened. But I don't sit there and go, "Oh, everyone, let's get the Bible out and study in chapter 4. I don't do that, man. What the hell? I don't do that. No. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
I take comfort in knowing that I believe, and that I don't have to defend it, and that I can find peace in it. And I stay very close to it. And when I start acting like a little asshole, I notice that, hey, those character defects are coming back, and I really got to keep them in check. Oh, Victoria. We have a question from Victoria.
I was wondering if you purposefully chose to write your songs in a way that people could relate to them or could be used in a therapeutic manner. I mean, I am a music therapist. I have to ask that question.
I've just always been really openly honest. My publicist calls me a serial confessor, and I've always been that way. I don't choose to write in a certain way because I try to write differently, but I've always just written so bluntly honest that sometimes people are like, "Ugh," but then the people that listen go, "Okay." I've always just written that way, and I always wondered why other artists didn't do that. I always wondered why that. I always wondered why other artists didn't write from that place of their heart or their soul that just rips people apart when they hear it. I love ripping people apart when they listen to the music. That's what it is. Not like physically. I mean, emotionally. Don't worry, Ethan.
I have a question.
Who does? Mrs. Lenny?
Yes. So when you get triggered by something, what's the one thing you go and do? Like, what's the one step you think about in order for you to calm down or go back to reality?
when I get triggered by something, I separate myself from the situation. I don't sit there and bask in it. You know, how some people go, oh God, that Facebook really pissed me off. Let me get back on Facebook and see what else will piss me off. You know, I'm not even on Facebook. Like, I'm done with people on Facebook. Like, I'm just so sick of people's crazy attitudes, especially with politics. It's when I'm triggered by something on the road, I go run or work out or have some good Vietnamese food, and do really good things. My favorite food is pho. You know, in the world, my favorite food is pho, and it is the most amazing food and cleansing. That's right, and it's the most cleansing, amazing. But I take pride in those things. I go right. I work out. I talk to positive people. There were still people when I got sober that still did drugs in my band, and I had to tell them, "Sorry, not gonna happen no more." Remember those boundaries that I told y'all about? I don't care if you go smoke drugs. You know, go somewhere else and do it. You know, but I pray a lot too. If something's bothering me, man, I chill. I take a chill. I pray, talk to a couple people that I know are positive reinforcers, and then I go for it. But I'm such a badass these days, Lenny, in my mind, that nothing triggers me. Nothing triggers. I don't even let it get that close. I don't even let no people get close to me like that. Yeah, Alice, I'm a badass, and it's only because of sobriety. You know, I don't let nobody close enough like that to mess with me. And I'll stop there. Just nobody's going to mess this vibe up. I got this going on, and nobody taking that. Nobody. Never.
Love it.
Who else has a question? Anybody?
You had a couple of pho lovers out there as well.
Oh, it's the best food ever made.
Cool. What other questions, children's? What you got?
Or we can just stand here and stare at each other.
Right. We are all good-looking people.
My boy Ethan. What's up, Liam? What's up, Liam? With that hair. What's up, Michael? With all them books. Nobody. That's cool. That's cool.
All right, couple of here. I'll give you some fun, non-deep question. Well, I guess they could be deep. If you weren't a professional musician, what would you be?
I would be a drug counselor. I would work at a rehab, and I would be a social worker or yeah, definitely. I love working with people that have fallen down, and I love being a positive reinforcement in their lives. Yeah, I would do that.
Dude, you could be.
And I would also be a barber, because I like to give people fades backstage. I cut people's hair. So I barber a lot. Ethan, I'll hook you up, bro. I'll hook you up. I'll give you that type fade. That's 0 to 3. Yeah. One time, check this out. One time I'm backstage and I forgot to oil my clippers, and my buddy's sitting there and I go, and I cut his neck and all his blood starts. And I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't barber that much. Maybe I should oil my clippers. Yeah, I messed him up. He's got this scar right there. Jeez. Ethan's like, you're not cutting my hair anymore.
Ethan's your boy. He must remind you of yourself or something.
He reminds me of my light guy, Drew. He's a player. He's a player. He's a pimp. That's Ethan right there. All the girls are like, yes, he is. Look at you, Ethan. Oh, Lord. That's my boy. Okay, give me another fun question.
All right. So I was thinking, if you had to choose between never being able to go back to Texas again or having to stay only in Texas and go nowhere else for the rest of your life.
Bye, Texas. Peace out.
All right. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
have you ever been to Prague? Has any of you ever been to Prague?
On my list.
It's brilliant. Have you ever been to Munich or Berlin or Sweden in the winter?
Eden, yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Like, life is just starting for you guys. You guys have so many places to go. Oh my God. New York City downtown on Christmas. Like, there's so many beautiful places in America, but once you step out of America and go to Germany and UK, and oh, it's fascinating. It's brilliant. So yeah, peace out, Texas. Later.
Best band you've ever seen in concert.
Best band I've ever seen in concert.
That's a loaded one. That's tough.
God, I would have to say the best band that I've ever seen in concert, or the best band in the world. Best band that I've ever seen in concert. I've seen a lot of bands, but bands that these guys know, I will have to say we did a tour with 21 Pilots in 1975 a while back, and they were really good. 21 Pilots are just exceptional on live. They're just exceptional. I'd have to say Muse is pretty good, but I don't know. Bastille, 21 Pilots, man, those guys are crazy. Those guys are really brilliant, you know? Now for you, Mr. Jeff Dunn, you remember the band Midnight Oil?
Sure.
Dude. Sick. That's all I'm going to say.
Australian boys.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I'm supposed to ask, what if you live with the people you want to get away from?
What if you
And then
you
somebody
move?
else wants you to write us a song. But there's also the question, what if you live with the people you want to get away from?
You move. Like, for real. Like, you move. Like, there are things called moving apartments. Now, if it's your parents and it's your family, you move even quicker. Like, life is short. Life is short, man. If these people are losers, what the hell are you doing with them? Like, it's that simple. Don't hang out with stupid people. They make you stupid. Drop the pen.
I know there's somebody I am good friends with on this call that you could say that again for them. Don't hang out with stupid people.
Don't hang out with stupid people. It took me a long time to realize that. But now, okay, my friend and associate, Eric, told me this, and it is so brilliant. Listen to this one. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. That's it. 5 people that are closest to you. That's how far you can make it. You feel me? So if you're hanging out with Pothead Larry, who sits around and plays video games all day, that's going to hold you back. I hang out with brilliant people. Brilliant people. I surround myself with people that intimidate me because they're so brilliant, because I want to be like them. And then I go and do it. You know, make sure your squad is on their game. Like, for real. Because if they're not, you're just going to end up like them, doing nothing but smoking weed, playing video games, and drinking. Hear
that, Abby? No Pothead Larry for you. Stop hanging out.
Pothead Larry. Did I say Pothead Larry? That's good.
Can I ask something?
Is that Ethan?
Yeah.
My boy!
Yeah.
What's up, Ethan?
How's it going? You're in Texas, right?
Yeah.
I want to go to college in Texas actually, because I want to travel a little bit. So I was thinking we could do a collab where I could be your lights guy for something.
You want to be a light guy?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, hell yeah. If you're
No,
coming
make him your backup dancer.
Yeah,
I
or that.
think he'd be a great backup dancer.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me, man. I've done some weird shit in my life.
But,
Hey, Ethan, what part of Texas do you want to go?
Texas Tech and Lubbock?
Lubbock? You want to go to
Lubbock?
Lubbock?
I don't know what it's like. I've never been to Texas.
Ooh. Eric, my associate, is from Lubbock. Lubbock is probably the most boring town in Texas. But Texas Tech is probably one of the most amazing colleges in the world. So you got it going on there. I live in Wimberley, which is this small little town with little rolling hills and rivers and people that dance and lederhosen. I'm joking. Sure. So yes, Ethan, you can come be my backup dancer and like guy. Gotcha?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, good. These girls like you, Ethan. Every time you speak, they're like, Alice.
What? No.
Just keep being a pimp, baby. Okay, what's the next question?
Well, so you guys have something? I want to make sure you get the you get your chance first.
Lenny has another question.
Yes, I do. If you could tell yourself anything, your 8 years ago self, anything, what would that be? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. If I could tell my younger self that was so serious and so sad, I would tell myself that you need to start, you need to be happy. You need to realize that you only get one life, and that if you keep adding on to this negativity, no one's going to want to work with you or hang out with you. You need to be positive, proactive, and just love every bit of life. Stop taking it so seriously. That's what I would say. And I would also tell myself, you're going to be one handsome guy, so don't worry about it.
I think you meant that for me. Oh,
Nope,
no.
definitely me. Not joking. You're handsome too, big boy. Gotcha.
Okay. Let's see.
I like that. Courtney, how you doing?
Good.
You're so quiet. That's good. It's okay. Hey, how do you say R-Y-K? Reich?
Sorry, I
Okay.
have like chicken nuggets in my mouth.
It's Reek.
It's okay.
It's Reek eating chicken nuggets with
Reek.
really pointy fingernails.
I love her fingernails. I'm kind of scared of her.
You should.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let me think. Does anybody else have a question for me? Anyone? Oh, we got Victoria. Every time I say your name, I have to say it like Victoria.
I could ask you questions all day, but this one's more based on your music. Like, when did you realize that music could become therapeutic for you?
When I wrote a song called Black Orchid when I was 14. It was about how I was cutting on myself and thinking about suicide and stuff like that. And I wrote a song and I played it for people, and people were amazed at how honest I was. And I only got really good feedback. I didn't get like, "Oh, you're crazy," you know? Yeah, that's when I first realized that, that, wow, I can write like this. And I was only 14. So I thought, wow, I got a whole life to do this. It's going to be great. What's another question, Victoria?
Yeah, no, I was going to say the story in an open book is kind of hilarious about that.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, Mom, sit down, listen to this song. And I played it for her, and she's like, what the fuck is this? Did you have another question, Victoria?
Sure. I mean, when you said that you had hospital stays, an inpatient, my question would be, when you were an inpatient, were you on general psych units, or were you on more of a MICA dual diagnosis unit?
I was on a 72-hour watch thing because I was a threat to myself and others, and then I ended up staying longer because every time that it happened was like just it was a direct result of me not being able to handle things in life that were normal, like a breakup or like someone hurting me, and all of a sudden I flipped out, and it was just, oh God. So it was definitely huge on my depression. But there were times in my life back when it happened that I did not think of living. I thought of that was the next solution, because I didn't know how to process, because I was self-medic. I didn't know how to make good decisions or to heal like an honest, normal person. So I took it to the next level. I think there was one time I was in an airport and I blacked out and I was yelling, I'm afraid of what I'm going to do. And like, cops took me right to the mental ward in Minneapolis. But what I failed to tell them is that the week before I had been doing crystal meth and drinking nothing but tequila shots. You know, it's kind of bullshit, right? I mean, come on. How about you get sober and go deal with a heartache or a divorce the right way? Get some therapy.
Yeah, I worked
Do
with
I remember yelling in the airport? I don't remember.
I worked with a psychiatrist who his rule of thumb was no diagnosis until we can get the addiction under control, because you don't know what the true underlying thing is. And that was the truth. He wasn't a popular person for that because, you know, insurance companies aren't thrilled with not having a diagnosis to pay for, but that was that always kind of stuck with me.
It's true though. I mean, that's super smart. You can't. Like, I thought I had this tremendous amount of bipolar when I got in rehab, and they finally did a whole assessment of me. They were like, "You don't have bipolar. You were just doing speed." Like, what the hell? You know, you have extreme depression, but we're going to work on that. We'll get your serotonin levels up. But I will tell you that first 2 years after I stopped doing drugs, I had damaged my serotonin. What do you call them? Sponges. A lot. And it was very hard for me to get to feel the peace that I have today.
Very cool. Have you ever have you ever had a chance to do the genetic testing that they have for the receptor sites and stuff? It's kind of cool. I just recently found out about this. My son and I both had it done. You do the testing, you do like a swab, and it talks about how you metabolize the different types of medications and stuff. So if there's like a particular medication, and it reminded me because I was thinking, like for me, for instance, no, it was my son. It was like one of the drugs that he can't take is Paxil. And I know for a lot of people that works great, but for him, exactly, yeah. But for him, like that wouldn't have worked. He would have needed something else. And similarly for me, it's like, you know, like Effexor, like I've been on Effexor for years, and it's like I'm not supposed to be. So, you know, I'm in the middle of trying to switch that out. It's kind of a neat, it's a neat, just the report. It's like, it's really scientific, but if you have somebody that can explain it well, it's really cool. That's amazing. What is that called? It's called GeneSight. Okay. I'm going to look at that. Hold on one second. It says I got 15 minutes. 15 minutes. All right. They're actually running late, so we got 15 more minutes. This is good. Woo-hoo. This is good. If you have any more questions. Hey, we have to have more questions. We have the chance to keep Justin for another 15 minutes. Like this is so Lord. Cool. You're hilarious. You are hilarious. Who was it? Alice Rose wanted you to write a song for us. Hey, real quick. Let me go make sure they're okay in the other rooms, and then I'll come right back, okay? You got it. 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. So guys, this is different, right?
Yeah, you seem to really be enjoying this. Hey.
This is my dude. It's like if you
I know you're fangirling.
I am fangirling so bad. I'm trying to keep it cool. I'm not looking cool though, I don't think. But yeah, this is hey, I'm trying. I'm trying to keep it cool.
I told my coworkers what I was doing today, and they were all very jealous. I had someone cover my group so I could be here.
Nice. And it's funny. It's like my friends that I invited, they're not saying a word. Brian went to the concert with me, and Brian's just like keeping his mouth shut. I'm like, I don't know what's up with that. So.
I'm loving it. I just didn't want to interrupt the class. I was doing the exact same thing. I was saying Midnight Oil. I love Midnight Oil, but I didn't want to do the exact same thing. So I was just playing it cool.
For today, you guys are part of the class.
Okay, cool.
So Abby, Steph, Emily, you guys are welcome to put out your questions as well. And last week when he got on, he's like, yeah, I'll do some songs for you guys if you want. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel right asking him to play songs, but my God, I would die. So
Don't say that. Okay, I'm coming.
But yeah, it was pretty incredible. I was having a grand old time.
Okay, what are y'all talking about? What did I miss? Alice, tell me the truth.
I was just telling Jeff how he's super duper fangirling right now.
Jesus. So embarrassing.
Oh, stop. Are you serious? That's so funny.
Oh my God.
Jeff.
Can you believe it?
Yeah,
I've got control over her grade and everything, and she's selling me out like
right?
that.
Right?
That's
Like she means she loves you. Oh, look, it's Brian. Where are you, Brian?
Right.
This is just the Hobbit Cape. Yeah. I'm a colleague of Jeff's, and so I really appreciated the opportunity to join.
Yes,
of course.
Brian,
I want to come join you in your Hobbit Cave.
Yeah, when you were at the Keswick, the guy who I was supposed to go see you with bailed on me, so I had one ticket, and I'm like, okay, I could go run down to Wilmington and be super lame, but Brian stepped in and came with me, and he became an automatic fan that day. So.
Oh, Brian, thank you, buddy.
Definitely.
Hey, look, it's Abigail again. Hi, Abigail. Oh, look, who's the baby? Where'd the baby come from?
Yes.
That is my other buddy, Emily, and her new baby, Kian.
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Daisy boo boo pee pee. Boo pee pee. Daisy boo boo. Daisy happy little guy. Oh, my gosh. That's adorable. I love kids.
They're fun.
I love them. All right. So what else you got for me? I've got like 12 minutes.
And then my other friend who is staying pretty quiet. Also, she lived in Austin. So for a long time, she was a Texas girl, Stephanie. But she's probably keeping on the low down right now. So
is everybody excited for tonight's big election?
Have you voted? Have you voted, Justin?
Of course I voted.
Good.
Of course you have to vote if you're going to complain.
That is right.
Yeah, no. But tonight we're going to be working on step 2 on the recovery show. I thought that everybody could use a little distraction away from this crazy ass election. So we're going to do a little recovery and a few songs. It's going to be fun,
Yeah. The Tuesday nights are neat. They actually do cover songs, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to hear any things that are a little off the beaten track, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, man. Well, I just appreciate you guys having me here, and I hope that you all get A's now. Is this how class is now? Is it all Zoom?
Yeah, unfortunately for the moment. So yeah, we last semester it was half and half, but this is the closest I've gotten to meet these guys. Was just kind of by watching each other, and then a couple of them I've had in real life class before. Abby says, "What unit are you all on?" Abby, this is a different class. This is abnormal. So we're doing substance abuse. Last semester we did developmental. So we talked about the growing up and the different stages of life. This year we're talking about screwed up people and how you become screwed up. And then
what's going on, man? What do you mean? Huh? What do you mean? This year we're talking about low lives, and we're having the best of the low lives as guests. Hey, y'all, I'm a low life. No, I'm joking. Yeah, dude. Drugs are bad, okay? Don't do them.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're probably right about at your time. And does anybody have any other quick things? Anybody else want to sell me out again?
Ethan, bro. Hey. Much love, Ethan. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Remember that.
Love you too.
All right, guys. I love y'all. I hope you guys wish you guys the best. If I could leave y'all with anything that for anybody that might be struggling with addiction, or alcoholism is that there is a solution if you want it bad enough, and it's nobody else's responsibility to get help except yours. And it's not your responsibility to help anyone else. It's your responsibility to guide them to the map and guide them to their solution and let them do it themselves. So if you ever find yourself in that situation later on in life and you're like, oh, I remember that weirdo in that thing that kept obsessing with Ethan. I remember he told me it's not my responsibility to fix you. You can actually tell your boyfriends or whoever it is that I remember this guy in my class told me it's not my responsibility to fix you. It's your responsibility. Bye-bye. That's it. But with that, Mr. Dunn, I thank you very much. And if you ever need me again, reach out to Paul or my wife.
Okay, hey, you should don't. Hey, if you're not going to, if you don't mean it, because I do this every semester.
Hey, I love it. Look at me, buddy. I told you, step 12 is that I have to carry the message. So if anybody asks me, I have to do it.
Cool.
If I don't, then I'm not following my steps. And we will take, isn't that right, Eric? We will take 2 tickets to go see the hockey game with you when we're in town.
You let me know. You let me know the date. I will get the tickets. We're there, and I'll even make sure they have those vegan hot dogs or whatever that Eric.
Oh, that's
I'll get you a cheesesteak. He could have a vegan hot dog.
I'll have an Atkins cheesesteak. Just get a bunch of lettuce and put all the stuff inside of it, and I'll just.
There you go. Nice.
All right, guys. Much love. Or we can go get pho before. Yeah,
Yes,
Reek.
Hey, that works.
Oh, let's go get some pho. Oh God. I miss going
We're gonna
out.
get fun today.
Help me. Okay, guys, have a beautiful day. Mr. Dunn, always here if you need anything, okay? And it's because of people like you educating the future on all of these subject matters that I have hope for us. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you're a handsome devil. Let me end it with that, okay? God bless y'all. Abigail, enjoy your coffee. Ethan, stay a pimp. And I love y'all, all right? Victoria, congrats. Alice Rose. Okay, anyway, I'm going to go around. Courtney, go back to bed. I love y'all. Have a good one. You good with me, Mr. Dunn?
I'm good. Thank you, my man.
I love you, buddy. Let's do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Right back at you.
All right, bye.
Oh my gosh, too funny. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. I don't know how to top this next time. Who do I try to get on next time? Dear me.
Bring your friend back from the Amtrak crash. He was amazing.
Oh, you know what? He stood me up this time. The last two, as a matter of fact, the last 2 times he was supposed to be on, he just flat out didn't come. So yeah. So, and then my usual alcoholic that I bring on, he's good, but he's not Justin Furstenfeld good. And I did have 2 Olympic volleyball players come in last time. That was pretty fun. And if anybody, well, yeah, was that wasn't for yours, was it, Abby? That was for a different one.
Have anyone come to ours?
No, I didn't have anyone come to yours. I had just started right after. It was the Immaculata class in my health psych class, and I was like, actually, that one was just self-serving. That was like, how could I get a famous volleyball player to come and talk that my daughter could hear? And I was like, oh, I know. They could talk about mindset and like healthy stuff, and it worked out to be pretty cool. And then while we were on, I'm like, okay, who else could I get that would be really amazing? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to be more self-serving. I'm going to get my favorite musician. And then I'm like, yeah, no. And my class said, no, it's never going to happen. I said, Lindsay, you were part of that class. And I was like, yeah, I had everybody get on a video and say, Justin, come talk to the class. And yeah. So.
I remember really emailing about it too. And you're like, I've topped myself.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to figure out who the popular people are in real life. My daughter is trying to. She said, you should get Harry Styles on or somebody from One Direction. I was like, well, you have to tell me what's broken about them. So she comes back with this long list of like, well, Niall's got anxiety and Liam's got OCD, and I'm like, all right, I'll try to get one of them on. Sure, I'll see what I could do. So yeah, don't worry. Everybody will be invited to that except for Alice Rose.
Put my hockey clothes in the washing machine.
Oops, sorry, that was Alexa reminding me to wash my hockey clothes for the night. So what do you think? You think he's going to actually come up and go to, if you get Harry Styles, I think I would die. Hey, I'm going to try. His fear of spoons. Love it.
Put my hockey clothes in the washing machine.
I heard you.
I'm reminding you. Put my hockey clothes in the washing machine.
We still want to see your cat. I keep trying to get him to come on. Luke was amazing. He was on cricket duty last night. He just annihilated this cricket that was bothering us all. So he's a good little guy there. All right. It's funny. It's like now I feel all like revved up. I feel like I have to go do something energetic. Like I should go for a run or something. I don't run.
I'm about to go kill this music therapy group.
Yeah, sweet. Well, you could play some of their music now.
I might have to. I might have to add it to my repertoire.
Yeah, nice. Cool. All right. Well, I guess I'll let you guys go. Oh, Thursday we're doing a yes, it is freezing cold in Chester County. It's like 40 today. We're doing an exam review on Thursday. It won't be exciting as this, but it'll still be a little exam review, so you could still get fabulous prizes.
They are fabulous prizes.
The prizes are and I'm dedicated to making sure people get their fabulous prizes. I actually had to mail Lindsay her prize because it was important that everybody get their prize.
The one's hanging up on my wall, so.
Sweet. I love that. That's a little weird, but I'm thrilled about it. Cool. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys on Thursday.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you could come. See you guys.